So, in my experience as a business owner or being a BNI member since the last 17 years, and like Sumit said, that being an executive director for almost 10 years now, I have met or mentored more than around 2,000 business owners. And today, what I want to share with you all is what is the 80-20 rule of business success. Okay, let's look at what is the 80-20 rule, because a lot of business owners, they kind of start focusing on the wrong thing when they want to really grow their business. Okay, so let's try and recorrect the path. Also, all of you have this roster sheet in front of you. Okay, when you look at the first page, you will see these. These are the core values of BNI. Okay, these are the core values of BNI. What I want you to actually, whilst I'm going through the presentation, I want you to visualize how each of these core values will help you get better focus of your business. Okay. So, number one, as a business owner, how many of us want to grow our business? Brilliant, right? All of us want to grow our business. Now, when you are growing your business growth, when you actually want to grow your business, focus more on accountability and consistency. A lot of business owners, they try to do things which are different, but then they end up in a spurt. It's a spike. You want to do something different and you spike up, or you do an activity. Okay, suddenly what happens, like as business owners, one fine day you say, okay, yaar, my social media presence is not good. And then you go and start putting things on social media. And then after a week, your energy dies out. And then there is nothing for months together. Has it happened to some of us? Yes. Okay. All of these scenarios, like I said, visualize it in your business. Spurt. It is not about spurt. It's about being accountable. Now, it's about being consistent. When you want to be consistent, accountability is the key. And for that, you need someone to hold you accountable, because as business owners, we can't hold ourselves accountable. We need someone to constantly tell us that you need to do this. And trust me, even CEOs of huge companies hire people to hold them accountable. Okay, so accountability is one of the most important things. When you are going to be having a high level of accountability, what you are going to be doing is you are going to be setting a culture in your organization. Okay, culture is your second key word. Whilst focusing on culture, you know what is the most important thing that you'd want to develop as a culture in your organization? Learning. Learning. As kids, most of us are still wondering, when we have reached adulthood, we are still wondering why were we taught algebra and calculus and why were we taught biology and why were we taught all of it. We are not using it in our business. But the rule of being more cultured is understand that 80% of your learning is for your personality development. Only 20% of it is for monetizing. Not everything you learn. So the moment you get it out of your mind that the learning has to be to monetize it, or I'm going to make money out of it, it's going to be doom. So understand that 80% of whatever you learn is only for your personality development. And that is why all that education is necessary. But as adults, when we go into business, we forget to learn those. We forget to learn things which are only helping us develop our personality. We only focus on monetization. And that is the second biggest problem that business owners wrongly focus on, that they don't learn to develop their personality. The third one, okay, when you are developing this culture, automatically the third key thing is language. The language that you use is very, very critical. Okay, speaking of language, and where do we use this language? We use it when we are communicating with a client. You use the language when you are putting up a social media post. You use the language in a brochure that you are creating. You use language for communication everywhere. But whether your language is reflecting an attitude of giving, if your language reflects an attitude of giving, most of us as business owners, we are so hardcore used to doing sales that we forget that we are here to make a difference. Your business, the conscious effort of whichever business you have selected to do, there is an undercore reason. So, when you are communicating with a client, when you are communicating with people, when you are communicating on your social media post, highlight the benefit to the opposite person. Highlight the benefit to the opposite person. Do not be self-centric. Okay? Do not be self-centric. Like for example, you heard Rohan in the beginning. Rohan is an interior designer. If he was to communicate, okay? If he was to communicate and he could communicate to a client, I'm a brilliant interior designer and I will make your house beautiful. Okay? That's one way of communicating. But maybe a client of his, if he communicated, you know what? I will make the interior designing or I will make the building of your house a beautiful process for you. It will become hassle-free. You will not need to worry about anything. And then suddenly it's not about his interior designing ability, it's about the compassion and it's about the giving that he's giving. 80% of your language has to be giving. Then what does the other 20% have to be? Asking. It has to be asking. Because as a person, as a business entrepreneur, there are only two things that you can do. You can give and you can ask. You can't really take. For taking, someone else has to give you. And that's not in your control. You can't decide whether someone wants to give you business or not. But what you can decide is you have a control over your language, that whether your language is giving and whether you are asking him for the right thing. Whether you are asking him for the right thing. So your language. Along with all of this comes the next biggest thing is evolution. All of us like to come up with new products.
Yes.
We love to come up with new products. No? And I'll tell you the journey of most people. What they do is they will work mindlessly and effortlessly, tirelessly. They will work for months together and then reveal one fine day, hey, new product that I came up with, big bang, on a social media. And then what? It's over. When you are evolving your business, what you need to understand is tradition in a business is very, very important. How many of you use mobile apps? All of you, right? All of you use mobile apps. Does your phone give you notification that there is an update on your app that you're using?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. How often does that come? Normally every 15 days, 1 month, there is a new update.
Yes.
Don't you think they could have waited 1 year and then suddenly told you now new update? They don't do that. They make small tweaks so that at the end of the year you don't have a radical shock. But then as business owners, are you doing exactly the same? Even if you have the ability to make a 180-degree change, the question is you have accepted it. Is your client going to accept that? They will not. They are used to looking at you in a format. And that is why 80% of your evolution has to be about sticking to tradition. 80% of your evolution has to be about sticking to tradition. Only evolve 20% at a time. 20% is about innovation. Okay? When you are doing that, obviously all of us, to grow our business, what's the number one thing that we need?
Business.
Client, sales. Okay? When you are looking at sales, most of the business owners try and focus on their products. I'm a brilliant graphic designer. I'm a brilliant interior designer. I sell brilliant wallpapers. Okay? But the guy next door is also probably selling brilliant wallpapers. So why is someone buying from you? They are buying for you for relationship. So focus on building that relationship with the potential client before you come to your sales. Before you come to your sales, focus on building relationships. That is, as a business owner, 80% of your work is about building relationships. And to prove it to you, okay, all of you are in a particular set business, okay? Now, if I was to ask you, And you can ask this yourself. If tomorrow you were to start selling plywood, will you still be good at it?
Yes.
Yes, you will be. And if day after tomorrow you had suddenly ended up taking a agency or pharmaceutical company, will you still be good at it? Yes, you will be good at it. Why? Because you will learn the art of building relationship. Then it does not make a difference whatever your product is. Your product is bought. So it's not about the product, it's about the relationship. When you are doing this, building relationships, one of the most important thing is about retaining your clients and people also. All of us want to retain our existing clients, right? Important. But we also want to retain our existing employees. We want to retain people. What is the 80% rule for retaining people? Appreciate and recognizing them. How many of you actually go and appreciate a client for the service? Okay. How many of you use Ola or Zomato? Okay. And how many of you know that a driver or a Zomato delivery guy can also rate a client? Yes. There's a client rating also, whether you are a 5-star client or not. So it's not only your rating. How many of you put a post on FB and are continuously checking how many likes you got? Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Because you want that recognition. Okay? Along with recognition, that is the 80% chunk. Because what people get is money and all people get outside. Recognition, unfortunately, I can't buy. So people want genuine recognition. Most of the business owners, when they are dealing with people, when they are dealing with employees, they are only promising rewards, incentives. But what you can move milestone with is recognition. 80% of your client and employee retention is going to happen about recognition. And as a business owner, you know what the good news is? It can just be a certificate which is costing you hardly anything. But it's the genuine appreciation. Only 20% about it is reward and incentives. So focus more on recognizing to retain people. And the last one, as a business owner, and trust me, I've seen so many people, I did not achieve my goal, I did not do this, I did not manage to do this. We become too hard on ourselves. As a business owner, how many of us want to be successful? Everyone wants to be successful, okay? The good news is your success is in your attitude. Your success is in your attitude. The moment you say, was I more successful than myself? Brilliant. What most of us get lost on is counting the achievements. Success is not about achievement. Success is not about 1 crore of business or 5 crores of business. Because the moment you announce 5 crores of business I did last year, there will always be another smart aleck who will say, I did 7. Okay? It is not about the achieving that particular thing. It is about attitude. It is about developing that attitude. It's about developing that attitude that I am brilliant. And the reason why this is most difficult for a lot of people is because there are continuously more number of people out there who are going to criticize you. It makes them feel good, no, if they pull you down. It's better than me working above, right? Instead of me climbing the ranks above, better to pull you down, then we are both equal. These are some of the things which become very, very important. The highlights, when you look at it, when we are talking about giver's gain, we are talking about lifelong learning, we are talking about recognition, building relations, accountability, positive attitude. These are the core values that BNI gives. As a visitor today, most of you will feel brilliant. Wow, we learned something new. Okay? We learned something new and we are going to do it. But outside the room, you will not be able to do it. Please understand this meeting could be an event for you, or it could be a reason for you to practice these core values every week. All the BNI members today, because it's not a sport, because it's about being consistent, even getting these values imbibed in you and learning how to use it, you will need to practice it every week. You will need to practice it every week. And that is the reason why we, as BNI members or BNI Invictus members, these are some core values that we do every week to grow our business. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Brilliant. So, welcome to BNI, world's largest networking organization. Back over to you, Vansi. Thanks a lot.